Let's learn how to customize a ready-made slide deck. Here's one we found in the orchard. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change our title page to something about the water cycle. So we're going to insert a new slide by coming up to the top, choose Slide, New Slide. Now you're going to notice it's in the wrong spot. I'm going to pick it up, hold it, drag it, and drop it up to the top. So I'm holding down my touchpad, dragging it up, and dropping it down. Okay, it's just a simple drag and drop. To get rid of anything that you don't want on a slide, it's as easy as clicking the object. Blue means Google's looking at it. Now you need to tell Google what to do. Delete it? Easy enough. Hit delete or backspace on your keyboard. Make sure that that box turns blue. So Google's looking. If you click in here, you're going to be deleting typing. You're going to click on the edge, hit delete or backspace, and it will disappear. Now let's look at how to change the background of all of our slides. Maybe I'm not in love with the color that they used. If Google is not looking at anything, I always like to click on the outside of the slide. Background will show up in the menu. Click on background, choose a new color, and I'm going to add it to the whole theme. That means the background of every slide I add is going to change to purple. Then I hit done. Now you'll see that that green color has disappeared and it's been replaced by a beautiful springtime purple. Let's add a title. I'm going to come up to the menu. Now this quick access menu, everything that's here is also under Insert. So here we have image and text boxes. Here we have image and text boxes. I always like to use the quick access. I'm going to come up to the text box. I'm going to drag, hold, draw, and drop the box I want to type in. Now, sure, you can put it where you want it, click, and it's going to draw a box for you, but the box might not be where you want it. So I want you to practice dragging and dropping that shape down. So I'm going to type in here, getting to know the water cycle. Now, that not really interesting. So let's take a look at highlight the text. Suddenly we have a new menu come up. We can change the font. We can change the size by clicking on the plus or minus, or the number gives us a drop-down menu. We can make this bold, italic, underlined, change the color. Also, if you want to get fancy, the alignment is here. Because it's highlighted, I can see that I can make this left, center, or right justified. When I'm done, I just click off it. It's pretty good, but how about we add an image? I can go to Insert, Image, search the web, or I can go to Image, search the web from my quick menu. I'm going to do raindrop clip art. I'm going to find something that I like, and I'll just go basic. Click it. You can click multiple images. Google says, well, you selected one. Should I insert it? You click on Insert, and there's your picture. Now, if you ever need to move an object, you grab it in the middle. Take a look. My cursor changes to a double arrow. I can pick it up, hold it, and move it. When I'm ready to drop it, I just drop it down. If I want to make something bigger, I grab it from a corner, I drag it up to make it bigger, I grab it, hold it, drag it down to make it smaller. Here's a fun little tip, a bit of an advanced one. Let's pretend that I wanted to put this as a background. I'm going to send this to the back by going to Arrange, Order, Send to Back. That's still a little hard to see the words. How about I fade this out? Anytime you click on a picture, here's an advanced tip. Google's looking at that picture. I see a format menu. Going to click Format. I'm going to go to Adjustments and play with the transparency. Now you'll see that that is fading into the background. If you find the right picture to do this with, boy, it looks so professional and well put together. And right above that, as a side note, recolor will actually recolor it. This is a bad example to show, but it will actually recolor it to any of the primary colors here. So primary teachers that are looking for a blue sock for a math problem, find a sock, click on it, go to Format, Recolor, and choose a red sock or whatever color you may need and let Google color it for you. All right, so now that's a little bit easier to read. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. You get as fancy with it as you want, but just know this is the perfect place to put the name of your lesson and, of course, insert another text box by going to T for typing or text and drawing your text box to put your standards here. It's great when you're getting observed and you can have something on there that as you're teaching, it's going to prompt you on things that you don't want to forget to say. Now we've created slide number 1. Let's take a look at slide number 2. Here's a pre-made slide with some things that we want and we don't want. I'm going to do a little check-in and see a poll. How much do you think you already know about the water cycle? Let's delete some things. I'm going to click on this object. Google's looking at it. I'm going to hit delete or backspace. I'm going to click on this. I don't want it. Delete or backspace. Click, delete or backspace. They have actually a bunch of empty boxes on this slide. I'm going to just keep clicking and then delete or backspace on my keyboard to get rid of them. Now, I'm going to type on here by putting text box, drawing. I want to pull. I'm going to type my directions. 1 to 3. Let's do 1 to 5. Where 1 equals I know nothing about the water cycle. And 5, I know everything about the water cycle. How much do you know? Oh, my typing is terrible. All right, so when this gets created as a Pear Deck slide, they're going to see this whole slide, but they're going to have a box off to the side with a scale of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Remember, highlight, change the font, change the size, change the color, should you want to. And we're now going to add our Pear Deck to this. Okay, so for this one, we're going to come right on up to Tools, I'm sorry, add-ons, Pear Deck, open it, and we're going to say, hey, Pear Deck, on this slide, give them a multiple choice question, and it's going to be 1, I don't know anything, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So remember, when they look at this slide in Pear Deck, when it's being presented, they will see this slide with a multiple choice question, a poll off to the right-hand side. Now, for those of you, advanced tip here, you can actually click this and resize this. Now, you can't delete it, but you can make it super tiny, and you can even drop it right off of the slide. So if you put it right underneath that slide where you could just barely see it on your screen, it will still work. You cannot delete it, but you can make it small. If you don't want a slide, I'm going to pretend I don't want the next couple of slides. I click it and I click delete or backspace on my keyboard. Click it, delete or backspace. Click it, delete or backspace. Now, I'm going to actually leave this the way it is. I wanted to show you that this one, it's great the way it is. I want the students to write their response. And I'm going to use this one too, except I don't want them to write another response. I want them to actually draw a response. The great thing is that I can click this. It's an object. I can hit delete, and I can actually tell Pear Deck, hey, make this a drawing one. The great thing about drawing is that they can draw and type on the slide. That's going to be wonderful for our students that love representing things in picture form and explaining it in words. Perfect for something like the water cycle. Now, the grand finale of this, I'm just deleting a bunch of these slides that I don't want. The grand finale is going to be that I want to insert a video into this so that the students, here's my title slide, they're going to see it. There's no interaction on that one. There's no footer. On this one, on a scale of 1 to 5, they're going to have a multiple choice. And remember, I resized that and drug it just off the slide to hide it. Right after this one, I actually want to put a video. Let's talk about that. This is one of the coolest things I have to show you today. I'm going to go up to slide and I'm going to put new slide. Now remember, if this isn't in the right place, you could pick it up and you could drag that anywhere you want to move it. I'm going to click here. I'm going to delete these. Click on the line, delete. I'm going to just put a little bit of direction here because they're going to still see this slide next to the video. And I'm going to put watch the video and think about what you observed or learned and one thing you still wonder about. Now, we've gone over this highlight. I can change the font. I can change the size, nice and big. I can change the color should I want to, right? But here's the thing. A lot of people have a problem with putting videos in. Why? Well, if I go to insert a video and I find a video on the water cycle here and I insert it in, if I weren't using Pear Deck, this would be absolutely wonderful because it would open right in the slide and the students would see nothing except for the video on this slide. However, when you're using Pear Deck, if you put it in this way, when the student clicks on it to watch it, it actually opens a new tab and opens this in YouTube. That means students are going to see all of YouTube inside the video. Let's not give them any distractions. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this blue box. Google's looking at it, backspace or delete. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to actually learn how to take the video and embed it into the slide. It sounds really hard. It's not that bad. Here's how it works. So we're going to go to YouTube and we're going to find a video. And once we do that, now I do want to give a warning while I'm doing this. I'm not going to be able to, because I'm sharing my screen, for some reason, it's not going to let me copy and paste correctly. So I will clearly show you what you need to copy and paste, but it's just not going to look correct in this video. So here's the video I want. I'm going to open the video. Underneath every video, near where you can like or dislike, it will say share. You're going to click on share and click embed. This is the code that a programmer or designer would use to put this into a website to have it open and autoplay when the website's launched. We don't want this whole code. What we want to do is find the URL that starts with HTTPS and goes to the end of that URL. So you're actually going to see quotation marks from the end of it to the beginning. But it actually worked this time. Control C to copy. I'm going to come back to here. I'm going to click on Pear Deck and website. So now that I have that embed code, I can copy and paste that in there. Now you're going to notice something. This already said HTTPS. What I copied said HTTPS. When I pasted it, the HTTPS disappeared. It's okay. Let it do its thing. It needs to be there. Why? I don't know, but it works. So now I'm going to hit update slide. Now, when your students go to this slide, they're going to see these directions, and right next to it, nice and big and clear to see, the video will play asynchronously. That means it's not going to rely on your connectivity and you presenting it through your own screen. Your students will be able to watch it on their own and hear it and be done. So once this is run, and you'll see it in the workshop, you're going to see the video show up on the slide. That's a little bit about customizing your very own Pear Deck template to create the perfect interactive slides to use with your students. Enjoy.